This is The WAC on ESPN+. The holiday season is here, and tonight in Southern California, two teams with solid records collide, looking to ride into the Christmas break with another impressive win. It's Western Kentucky and California Baptist, and it starts right now. And we welcome you inside the Fowler Event Center here in Riverside, California. Stephen Douglas, I'm Braden Bell, and Stephen, a couple of teams feeling really good about the way their seasons have gone so far. Very evenly matched as well. We expect a good one here tonight.
Yeah, do not look away. There's going to be a lot of action-packed right around the cylinder here tonight. I'm excited for this one.
Let's take a look at our impact players tonight. First for Western Kentucky, and you want to talk about a guy that can really fill it up in a big way. That's Don McHenry. 15 points per game, had a big night against Austin Peay with 16 points and 6 rebounds. One of the best scorers in all of Conference USA. Meanwhile, we look at California Baptist now. Another guard who can fill it up in a big way. Dominique Daniels Jr., he can score in so many different ways.
Yeah, he certainly can. Obviously second in the WAC in shooting from beyond the arc. It's going to be interesting to see how defenses start to key on Dom Daniels Jr. the rest of the way.
Take a look now at our keys to the game. First for Western Kentucky. They're all the way out here on the West Coast. What do they got to do to get a win tonight?
Share the ball, makes the extra pass, get the best possible shot, and then crash the boards. Both of these teams rebound well.
Meanwhile, for California Baptist, coming off a dramatic win on Saturday. In fact, so is Western Kentucky. Lancers trying to get a home win. What do they need to do?
Yeah, transition defense. This is going to be a track meet. You got to stop this team from scoring, not only from the perimeter, but also defend the rim.
Western Kentucky at 9-3, CBU at 7-3. First ever meeting between these two sides, and we're underway in Riverside with the Lancers winning the opening tip and Dominique Daniels Jr. running point for California Baptist. Big matchup in this game going to be pace. Western Kentucky works about as quickly as anyone in college basketball. Meanwhile, CBU way down there in terms of overall tempo, according to KenPom. So that'll be a storyline to keep an eye on as the night goes on. As a missed three from Daniels Jr. gets us underway, and now the Hilltoppers using that pace we just talked about, sprint all the way up the floor. Here's Jackson, lobbing to the post. It's Fay working out of Boudrogo. Fay steps through, it's a tough two, and he's fouled, and he'll have a couple of free throws. That was something when we talked to first-year head coach Steve Lutz, and we'll talk more about Coach Lutz as the night goes on, but he said, I think our big guys are really good, and oftentimes because of that tempo, they may not get the touches that they may want or deserve, but when we get them the ball, we might be a better offensive team because of it.
Yeah, Rodney Howard, Boubacar Fay here at the line. Really, really athletic in the middle. These guys do a lot for you in the post. As a matter of fact, this is the #1 rebounding team in Conference USA here in Western Kentucky.
Fay, a junior out of Senegal. Also attended the NBA Academy in Senegal. So in fact, 3 different members of both these teams attended the NBA Academy, with 2 CBU players, and Malik Wade and Jonathan Griman both going through that academy that's really becoming very, very popular in both Africa and South America. So a couple of free throws as Fay knocked down one, and the Hilltoppers get on the scoreboard first. So you see the Lancers starting 5 here. Goodrick working just outside the three-point line and now backing down on Marshall Jr. Good move to the basket for Goodrick. He was blocked, but there was body contact. And the lefty out of Australia will earn a trip to the free throw line.
I like the aggressive take here early from Hunter Goodrick. Sometimes looking to make the pass first, especially early in the contest, but good to see Goodrick taking it strong early.
It was an aggressive offensive game for Goodrick in CBU's last matchup against UC Riverside in that dramatic rivalry win, matching a season high with 14 points, also 8 rebounds. And the rebounding's been there all season long for Goodrick. In fact, leading the WAC in rebounds per game so far. But Stephen, we've talked about him a lot so far this season. One of those guys that you love to have in your program simply because he doesn't care if he scores the basketball, he just wants to win.
Yeah, he does a lot of the little things well, and you know, he's looking to get other teammates involved, and that's something that you really, you can't necessarily coach that.
1 of 2 for Goodrick at the free throw line. Both sides sluggish start, and that's also something that we talked about off air. This game right before Christmas, it can be tough for teams, you know, dealing with the motivation factor. No students on campus, as Fay was denied by the rim on a wide open dunk attempt. A play he'll want to forget, but Western Kentucky will fortunately keep possession as we take another look at, looked like it may have slipped out of the hands of Fay on that occasion.
Oh, I mean, let's be honest. This is a long road trip here for this Western Kentucky team, and maybe their sea legs not under them just yet.
By the time they got to their hotel a couple of nights ago after flying in from Nashville, it was 3 a.m. Central, 1 a.m. here on the West Coast, and certainly that is something to keep an eye on. They did have all day yesterday to acclimate a bit, but definitely a long trip for the Hilltoppers. There's a steal, nice play in the post by Marshall. He goes coast to coast. Euro steps through and lays it up and in with the right hand. Tyrone Marshall Jr., the senior from Nashville, a pretty play.
Yeah, I like his game. He's long, he's lean, and he Euro stepped through the lane. Looked like he had defenders all around, and he went through untouched.
There's Brantley Stevenson, who hit big shot after big shot for CBU in that win. 70-69 over UC Riverside. Western Kentucky also had a really close win on Saturday, 65-64 against Austin Peay. As Dominique Daniels Jr. gets on the scoreboard, knocks us up at 3.
The WKU against Austin Peay really tightened the defense in the last part of that game.
Bounce pass again to Fay, who's really been a central figure in the offense in the opening segment. Spins around, uses that pivot foot, and a beautiful post move for Fay, who has a quick start.
Yeah, he can be a tough presence there in the post for the big fella YO. Fay's got some quickness.
Here's Blondo Chiqueño. Off to Goodrick, just inside the three-point line again, backing down on Marshall. This is a fun matchup. Goodrick gets inside, little fadeaway right in front of the cup, and he gets it to go. There's Hunter Goodrick yet again, 3 early points for the lefty. Even start here for both sides, just over 3 minutes in. It's Marshall now giving way to Jackson and Don McHenry. Again off to Fay on the block. Same exact placement, and Fay with the exact same result. So Fay, not much of a scorer. It's just 7.5 per game. Well, tonight looks like an outlier potentially. 5 early points for the big fella.
Yeah, it looks like a concentrated effort to go into the post here early for the Hilltoppers.
Lancers were dominated in the painted area against UC Riverside as well, so it's certainly something to really keep an eye on if you're CBU. Mirroring possessions here on the last 4. Goodrick again going back to the post, and he was bumped and fouled this time by Marshall Jr. And that'll be the first foul on him, second out of Western Kentucky, and some changes for both sides. Scotty Washington and Malik Wade will enter for CBU, and we'll see Kalambe, Enoch Kalambe, the junior out of Quebec, into the ball game for the Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers so deep.
In terms of overall bench minutes, they're top 30 in the country. They go deep into that bench all game long, and that is such a luxury for first-year head coach Steve Lutz, who has had about the dream start to a head coaching career you could possibly ask for. This just his 3rd overall coaching season in terms of head coaching. 2 NCAA tournaments at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. First year here at Western Kentucky, a program that has great history. Here's Jalen Jackson, a winning player. Talk about NCAA tournaments. How about 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances for Jackson, 2 at North Texas. There's now a 3 for Kalambe is off the mark. Finishing that note on Jackson. Big time production at North Texas, like we said, and then at Texas A&M Corpus Christi as well. Hounding defense for the Hilltoppers. Wade will hand back to Daniels Jr. Mid-range jumper is silky. Dominique Daniels Jr., known for his three-point shooting so far this year, but he can score on all 3 levels.
Oh, he certainly can, and it's good to see him get a mid-range going here early. This is going to be a tough game defensively, so we'll see that ball get through the cylinder here early.
Howard hands back to Newman. Newman in the short quarter. Swing pass out to McHenry. Touches well beyond the three-point line. Off to Jackson, drives that lane line inside, and he was fouled. And it will send us to our first time out on the floor. We expect a tight one all game long tonight. One of the best games in college basketball, some would say, this evening in terms of overall competitiveness. Western Kentucky and CBU knotted up at 7 early on. 7 apiece at the first media timeout. Stephen Douglas, Braden Bell bringing you the action here tonight from Riverside, California. And the Lancers and the Hilltoppers meeting for the first ever time as part of the Conference USA and WAC Challenge. As every single team in the WAC will be playing a Conference USA team both home and away this season. Lancers will travel to New Mexico State at the end of December. There's a look at Rick Croy, head coach for the Lancers, and Steve Lutz. We've already told you about Coach Lutz and what he's done so far. 50-year-old man, and certainly has done an incredible job. Just for reference, back to his last job, Texas A&M Corpus Christi was not a basketball school. 5-19 the year before he showed up, and back-to-back tournament appearances. It shows just what he's made of, and certainly the potential is there for Western Kentucky to get back to the kind of program that they've experienced over the course of their program's history. I mean, 23 trips to the NCAA tournament. Last one, though, 2012, 2013. So it's been a while for this program, and the fan base itching for another trip to the big dance, and certainly Coach Lutz could be the guy to bring him back there.
Yeah, they got a good head coach, good fan base. They got a good, fast team, and they have a mascot that's terrifying looking.
And a bowl win. Football team got a bowl win yesterday. A big comeback over Old Dominion. First free throw is good for Jalen Jackson, senior out of San Antonio, Texas. And Jackson certainly a fun player and a winning player, like we said. 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Not someone that wows you with his points per game. Similar to a Hunter Goodrick, which we discussed. Just an overall winner. He'll do whatever it takes, and took on a defensive mentality in the Hilltoppers win over Austin Peay. Made the game-winning play defensively for the Hilltoppers in that game.
Yeah, he really shut it down defensively there, the last 5 minutes of that game.
Hot shooting start for CBU, 3 of 4. Now make it 3 of 5 off the missed triple from Daniels Jr. And Western Kentucky looking to run. That's what they do. Here's McHenry. To the top, and now swing it over to the wing. Newman crossing over on Stevenson. 3 for the lefty. McHenry splashes it home. Don McHenry, he's been so good from downtown. He started this year 0 of 7 from 3. Since then, 45%.
Yeah, that'll get it done. Just slow start, I think, shooting for kind of the whole team for Western Kentucky, but they've got it going as the season has progressed here.
There's Goodrick. He'll pop a wing 3. Not able to respond. The rebound falls to Howard. Largest lead of the night here, very early going for WKU. Another 3 for McHenry, and the same result. A step back for the lefty. He's in rhythm, and boy, he's been so good lately, and he shows his stuff at the early going tonight. And just like that, the Hilltoppers, on the backs of their leading scorer, lead it by 8.
Yeah, not a guy that you wanted to get going early, and he has already got it going here. 2 of 2, couple heat checks there from beyond the arc.
Last 4 games coming into this one tonight for McHenry, 20 points per game. So, averaging 15 on the season, but he's stepped it up. Had 30 against Wright State, was a big reason why they won that road game, and Wright State not a bad program whatsoever. So McHenry, a guy that, when we talked to Coach Lutz, he said he's just always been able to score the ball, and people were questioning him at his size and whether he's a point guard or a 2, but he's just a great basketball player who loves the game, and seeing it over the course of these last 4 and now 5 games for this Hilltopper program.
Yeah, he is the real deal. I don't care if he's your 1 or your 2. He's going to be out there if he's got the basketball in his hands. He's going to score. And
with this Western Kentucky offense, the motion offense, he's going to get the ball. He's going to have plenty of touches throughout the entire ball game.
Absolutely.
There's a guy that can heat up quickly for CBU. It's Scotty Washington. Led the team in scoring in their conference road win against Southern Utah. Kendall Coleman on the floor for the first time as well for CBU in number 0 in white. Chiqueño had it deflected underneath the basket, and he traveled with the basketball. Kind of got out of rhythm there after the deflection, and CBU gives it away now for the 3rd time. So an 8-0 Western Kentucky run over the last 81 seconds and counting. Allen will pop a 3. Miss it off the right side of the iron, and a nice high arcing rebound for Coleman. That's what he does, the transfer from LSU. Chiqueño had his pocket picked. Transition comes Jackson. Jackson giving off McHenry at the shoe tops, but right there in the perfect location was Kalimbe, and he's able to lay it up and in, and just like that, a 10-point lead for the visitors.
That's the pace I'm expecting there from WKU pretty much all game, especially in the second half, what they just played right there.
Just a tempo, like we said, 5th, and it leads to another turnover, and watch out below. Hammer jammer with a left hand for Calibe. 12 straight points for Western Kentucky, and the Hilltoppers feeling right at home on the West Coast. Big time dunk for the junior from Quebec.
Yeah, he's another high flyer for this game. Another one of those uber athletic guards. He's kind of a small forward type guard, but oh my gosh, there's a lot of athleticism, a lot of depth for the Hilltoppers here at California Baptist, finding out early.
Stephen, we talked about this, and the pace they go at and the aggressiveness they play with on defense as well. This is not just a one-dimensional team, and I think a lot of times when you talk about pace, you expect it to just be an offensive team with no defensive intensity.
Right.
That's not the case with this WKU team, and we asked Coach Lutz about that, and he said, look, every coach says, yeah, we're going to play quick because recruits want to hear that.
Sure.
But they've actually bought in, and it's not always the easiest thing to do, and it also plays into the hand of how deep this Western Kentucky team is as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, in talking to Coach, he said he's got, what, 7, 8, 9 guys that he could be starting in any number of combinations in the starting lineup. There's just a lot of athletes. Not just athletes, I'm sorry. There's a lot of really good scorers on this team, a lot of really good defenders, and I think that's where it starts for Western Kentucky. Yeah, you talk about the running, you talk about the pace, but I think it starts with the defense.
Meanwhile, for CBU, trying to cure the turnover bug, and that's been something that's kind of reared its head in first halves of games recently for the Lancers. In their game in Oregon, they really struggled taking care of the basketball in the early going. Also against UC Riverside in the early moments of that game, but one of those things where, yes, you're at home, but you want to avoid a big-time hole and already down by double digits. Got to try to clean things up here offensively coming out of the timeout. It'll be Coleman, Chiqueño, Washington, Stevenson, and Wade for CBU. And meanwhile for Western Kentucky, Howard along with Jackson, McHenry, Calibe, and Allen. Another steal, Allen. 1-on-2, steps through, missed the layup, and CBU is fortunate to not give up another breakaway bucket. Here's Chiqueño. Kendall Coleman, a 3. No good. His first and only bucket this season after receiving the waiver from the NCAA was a 3-pointer against UC Riverside on Saturday. Great move to the basket for the lefty McHenry, but it looked like it was partially blocked by the Lancers, and CBU now looking to run and gun a bit. Chiqueño finds Coleman. Washington rolls around a screen. Off to Stevenson inside the three-point line, driving baseline. And too many hands inside the lane, it was stolen away. Jackson, his layup no good. A little bit out of control for both sides here out of the timeout.
Yeah, 3 stops, 3 stops for CBU defensively, but now they need a basket.
It's been almost 4 minutes since they've scored. There's that Daniels Jr. jumper at the 15:31 mark. Washington unable to change it. And a nice rebound, getting quick hands in there was Dante Allen, the senior from Falmouth, Kentucky. And he's fouled in the open floor. Second team foul on CBU. It'll go on Chiqueño. It'll take us to another timeout on the floor. The West Coast has been friendly so far to Western Kentucky. 19-7 over California Baptist. 11:31 to go first half. Well, it's an extended out 12-0 run for Western Kentucky as you see the high shot above the Fowler Event Center here in Riverside, California. CBU, Stephen, hasn't scored in now 4 minutes and 1 second. Offensively struggling, but a major credit to Western Kentucky. Just an overall aggressive nature of play they've brought to the table here tonight on the defensive end, forcing turnovers, getting into the passing lanes, and excelling on that side of the ball.
Boy, you really said it. Yeah, getting into the passing lanes, quick hands, long limbs, getting in there, and there's not anything easy right now for the Lancers offensively, not even an inbound pass. Turnover there for Western Kentucky, so the Lancers will get this one back. I think that's the first turnover, though, for the Hilltoppers.
It is indeed, and already 7 for CBU. Ooh. So the Lancers get that turnover, and it's kind of been a boom or bust defense so far for CBU. Their statistics overall have been solid defensively, but in terms of just forcing turnovers alone, that metric, Lancers have had some games where they've been great in terms of takeaways, and other games where they've really struggled overall. Here's Chiqueño. Rolled around a couple of screens, got right to the basket. It was swatted away by Allen after the whistle, and he hit one of his teammates. I believe that was Calabay. A little bit of friendly fire. Have another look here. Oof.
Allen coming in aggressively there. He was not going to let that be an and one situation.
And the worst part, he was called for the foul as well.
Yeah.
First foul on him, and the third on Western Kentucky. McHenry will enter for the Hilltoppers. Calabay will sit back down.
Probably seeing stars.
He very well could be. Baseline inbound for Chiqueño.
Again, nothing easy for the Lancers.
It's been the story of the night so far. Chiqueño. Good bounce pass inside. Woodrogo had it stripped away. Looked like he had a one-way ticket to the rim. Instead, a layover will happen, and they will inbound on the baseline here. Great find from Chiqueño. But a better play there, I believe that was Allen, who stripped it away.
Yeah, Allen's so subtle with his hands there.
Goodrick swatted away. Another aggressive and athletic play. This time Brandon Newman, the Purdue transfer.
Nothing subtle about that attempt there. Newman making sure his team's 6th in Conference USA as far as 3.5 blocks per game.
Woodrogo, spin move inside. What a move inside the painted area for Ivan Woodrogo. A revelation offensively this year for California Baptist, and you see why with moves like that.
You're going to get the big fella going in the middle, help open up this offense for the Lancers.
3 straight away. Newman couldn't get it to go. The rebound falls to Goodrick. Now it's Daniels in transition. Chiqueño, Stevenson, corner pocket 3. No good off the back iron, and a whistle on the ground will go against the Hilltoppers. It was a big-time storyline tonight. Western Kentucky's three-point defense, one of the best in all of college basketball. Opponents shooting just 27% against them from downtown. Meanwhile, CBU, top 60 in the country in terms of three-point percentage. So far, the Lancers 0 of 5 from deep. And it'll stay with CBU with 16 to shoot.
Yeah, those situations, something's got to give.
Here's Daniels on a baseline inbound. Drogo in the painted area again. He'll go back to the baby hook. No good this time. Goodrick got up high, pulled down the offensive board, and is rewarded with 2.
Yeah, around 4 red jerseys there. Goodrick doing work on the glass.
Here's Chiqueño. His double-digit lead for Western Kentucky, hanging on to it for a while now. They've led this game by as many as 12. Daniels to the basket. He'll get a couple of free throws. Boy, Dominique Daniels Jr. just so quick. First step is so hard to keep up with. And every single coach we've talked to so far before these games, and it's no surprise, we got to stop number 1. Easier said than done.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely said the statement I was going to make there. Easier said than done. I mean, you can game plan, you can try to focus on him, but then, I mean, he's hard to stay in front of, and that's the key for Daniels. And then he gets that shot off, and he's shooting at a high percentage so far this season.
McHenry for Western Kentucky and Daniels Jr. for CBU, similar players. Both went the JUCO route, both filled up the cup in the JUCO level and showing that scoring the basketball can translate.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of really good JUCO players have transferred and are playing in Division I right now.
1 of 2 from the charity stripe for Daniels. A move to the basket this time, and an acrobatic move for Dante Allen, the senior, with another basket. So Allen, a bench piece, and certainly has shown that he can be a scoring threat. Had 18 points against Murray State earlier in the non-conference. Baseline fadeaway for Goodrick is no good. Wade was there to clean up the glass, but might have been there with a push in the back. He's called for the foul. And that will be Wade's second foul.
Yeah, a little bit of a clear out there. Can't argue with the officials on that one. although Wade didn't like the call.
Newman. Lancers going into his zone defense here, which is extremely rare. We haven't seen that much this season. They were practicing that in the shoot-around earlier. Here's Allen. His three is good. Back-to-back buckets for Dante Allen.
Yeah, I like Allen's game. He had a slow start to the season, but he can be a major scorer for this team, whether it's off the bench or if he gets a start. He's one of those players, I'm sure, that could start if he wanted to.
Goodrick, what a move to the basket. Let the defender fly right on by, and Hunter Goodrick with a crafty move down low.
Oh, I hate it when you steal my adjectives, but that was exactly what I was going to say. So crafty with the lefty down in the paint.
Newman, a kick out, another three-point attempt, and again it's Allen who's feeling it from downtown. He's already knocked down 2 triples in this first half, and the Hilltopper lead is 15.
I tell you what, coming in, they'd only shot 28% from beyond the arc, but they look like a much better three-point shooting team than that.
Another timeout on the floor, and the Hilltoppers continue to soar. 58% from the floor so far tonight. 8 bench points for Dante Allen. 29-14, Western Kentucky. Tell you what, a holly jolly start for Western Kentucky tonight. 29-14 on the road against California Baptist, a game in which WKU slight underdogs. We expected it to be close, but so far it's been the Hilltoppers really dominating on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, already 6 players have gotten into the scoring column here for the Toppers. Some coming off of the bench. They've already got 12 points off their bench.
Yeah, and Allen has been a big-time difference maker, already 8 points off the bench, including a couple of triples. Another move to the basket for McHenry, no good this time. Fay was fouled down low, and that's now 3 fouls on the backup center, Malik Wade. Lancers are deep now down low, especially with Kendall Coleman returning because of that waiver issue we told you about, but certainly Wade, a guy who can certainly rebound at a high clip. 3 early fouls, that's going to handicap his game for the rest of the night.
Yeah, certainly the rest of this half, he'll take a seat here, but yeah, good point. Kendall Coleman certainly helps in the interior defense and the rebounding, especially with Wade having 3 early ones. Oh, Newman, he'll put that one in for 2.
And it's Newman, who is a guy that was about as highly recruited as you could be. Finished second in the Mr. Basketball Award in the state of Indiana, basketball rich, of course.
Wow.
Only behind Trace Jackson Davis, an IU alum and now playing for the Golden State Warriors.
Don't hang your head about losing to that guy then.
Not whatsoever. There will be a foul called on Allen as they were swarming Goodrick. So CBU is, I don't want to say used to being down big on their home floor, but they were down 16 points in their last home game against Utah Tech. They came all the way back, had a shot to try to win it in the final seconds. Down by 17 right now, so they're used to coming back, as a 3 from the top of the key is no good for Daniels Jr. Lancers now 0 of 7 from distance. McHenry crossing up Chiqueño. What a move to the basket, but there was a whistle and a foul on the approach. And the Hilltopper bench was all up and excited about this move. Take another look.
Ooh. Henry with the moves out there, the quick feet. I mean, Western Kentucky, they've got quick feet all around. Even their bigs in the interior have some good footwork.
Yeah, if you had to describe this team, athletic would be one of the first words that would come out of your mouth.
Yes, uber athletic. Just because I like that adjective.
McHenry off to Allen, watch out, heat check 3, why not? It's Dante Allen with another triple. 3 of them in the first half, and the lead is 20 for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, CBU's not coming back if that guy keeps on getting those shots right there, even with a hand in his face.
He's an experienced guy, started his career at Kentucky, 5 years of college basketball. He's still got 2 more years of eligibility as well.
Wow.
As there was a foul on the drive. And it will go against Fay. First on Fay, and it was the 7th, so it'll send Dominique Daniels Jr. to the free throw line. The Lancers just unable to get things going defensively. That's really where they've struggled the most so far. Offensively, shooting just 35%, but Hilltoppers up at 59% from the floor and 5 of 8 from 3. First free throw is good from Daniels Jr.
Yeah, and it hasn't really even been the fast break points, which I was anticipating. Hilltoppers only have 6 of those here so far.
2 of 2 from the line for Daniels Jr. 7 first-half points for the point guard. Lancers just trying to find that formula to allow them to start chipping away at this deficit. Long way to go in this ball game, of course. Newman. Howard will hand back. It's again another touch for Allen. Baseline drive and a poster jam. It's a first half to remember for Dante Allen. This time, a deadly approach and a one-handed flush.
Yeah, the crossover, the good first step, and then the baseline was clear, and he just slammed that one home after the three-pointers. That one real strong in the middle.
Have another look at this drive from Allen. Blow by, cock back, poster.
Impressive right there. Wow.
We've seen some poster dunks in this building this year, Stephen.
Yeah, we sure have.
That, based on what Allen's been doing from downtown as well, pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, Lancers need stops. They need to make an adjustment on defense. They got to stop that basketball.
Boudreau go to the free throw line for California Baptist. And the center misses. The front end of the 1-and-1. Allen again doing everything, pulling down the rebound. He'll sprint into the front court. Coast to coast, got it right back off a deflection, and he turned it over. Western Kentucky, as quickly as they move, you would expect turnovers to be a huge issue.
Yeah.
They only turn it over 13 times a game. Really impressive stuff considering the pace in which they play.
No, absolutely, yeah. That was one of the first things I looked at. Was I figured they probably turned over the ball a lot more than they do. They really take care of the basketball for how quick they go.
Dominique Daniels Jr. so good at that move on a step back, almost like a James Harden, if you will. Hits it from the point, and the Lancers convert on their first triple of this ball game as Tyler Riley gets a rebound on the other end, the freshman from Vegas. Here comes Daniels. He's quick with it. He's fouled on his way up to the basket, and he'll have a couple of free throws, although Daniels looks to be a bit hobbled after that move. Full head of steam, a little bit of hesitation, and close to a potential goaltend as well. But will just be a couple of free throws as Jonathan Kreiman will enter the game for CBU, in there for Kendall Coleman. And the officials are going to take a look at this play with 5:22 to go in this first half. So 12 points for Dominique Daniels Jr. so far for California Baptist. Goodrick with 7. So those two have accounted for 19 of the 21 points for California Baptist. And of course, we've talked a lot about the defense and the struggles so far for CBU, but they got to find that third guy. Chiqueño's been great all year long. He's yet to take a shot so far tonight. Brantley Stevenson as well, 0 for 1. Second half, Brantley Stevenson is typically where he has really thrived so far this year, but Lancers, who have trailed this game by as many as 20, scored 5 in a row, but you get the sense 5:22 to go first half. You want to try to get it down to within single digits right before halftime.
Yeah, you want to gain as much momentum going into the half as you possibly can. Obviously, cut into that deficit and try to come out with a little bit of oomph here in the second. Take another look.
Seeing what they could be reviewing here. Well, hit the backboard first, so. I mean, if you're able to review that, that would be a goaltend, of course.
I mean, in real time, I believed it was a goaltend. Yeah, the officials, they don't tell me what's going on, so I'm not sure what they're taking a look at right here.
And it will be a basket. So Daniels Jr. rewarded for his superb move in the lane.
I believe they got that right.
Replay seemed to show that.
Good officiating crew. We usually have a good officiating crew, actually.
It's part of the benefit of being in Southern California. A lot of good officials.
Yes.
Near a major city, of course. Free throw for Daniels Jr. is good. The Lancers have it back down to 14. So Griman and Woodrogo on the floor at the same time for CBU. Griman, the freshman out of Caracas, Venezuela. Another NBA Academy graduate, number 14 in white.
And he's got a tough assignment right now. He's guarding Allen.
Another three. No good off the back iron this time. Finally, Allen misses one. He's now 3 of 5 from distance in this first half. Another touch for Daniels. Up top, Riley. Hesitation. Another three for Dominique Daniels Jr. No good this time. And a stop for the Hilltoppers. McHenry. Crossover. Hesitation, and he's bumped and fouled near the charity stripe. And that whistle will go against Tyler Riley. That's his first. And it will send McHenry to the free throw line.
Tough assignment for the freshman. Matching up against McHenry, who's deadly with the offense.
Jack Edlin back into the game for Western Kentucky. Edlin, who's been a bit of a spark plug off the bench, 5'10" freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky. Front end of the 1-and-1 is converted for McHenry. 7 points in this first half for McHenry, a couple of assists as well. And the junior from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who had one of those high school careers that you just have to kind of appreciate. The numbers popped off the sheet. Led the state of Wisconsin 38 points per game his senior year, a career high of 54.
Wow.
So he's been able to fill it up since the prep days, as you'd imagine, carrying over now to Division I. Griman's pass was nearly picked off. Riley able to recover. Griman, the big fella, will shoot the three. Can't get it to go. Rebound high up there and plucked out of the air by Newman. Here's McHenry to the basket. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound falls to Faye, and his putback is there. Babacar Faye started really, really well offensively. Quiet as the first half went on, but again, making his presence felt.
Yeah, I mean, he was subbed out for some of that time. So, I mean, yeah, he's making his presence felt and doing it defensively as well.
And Woodrogo will have a chance at a three-point play on his move to the basket. It was another goaltend call against Western Kentucky, and it will take us to a timeout on the floor. Hilltoppers still shooting well over 50%. 56% overall on the day. They lead CBU by 16. Well, hey, there's a teammate of Shohei Ohtani. Austin Barnes, a Riverside native, checking out the Lancers and the Hilltoppers tonight. Attended Arizona State. Been with the Dodgers for several years now. A backstop for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers. Pretty good offseason for them so far.
Yeah, it's been fantastic for the Dodgers. I'm sure Dodger fans are very happy, and all the rest of the fans in baseball, not.
Well, Barnes has been texting a lot in this first half. Wonder if they're in a group text with Yamamoto right now.
Right, yeah, I would imagine
Maybe.
so. Absolutely, yeah. Got Tyler Glasnow in there as well. And
I think Dodger fans are just excited for baseball season to start. Speaking as one myself.
yeah, can't wait for spring training. I think we're, 99 days away?
Who's counting? Yeah.
Me. But hey, basketball season is here right now, and this is an exciting team, but boy, CBU's got a lot of work to do here.
Woodrogo can help cut into this deficit at the free throw line. The senior out of Bordeaux, France. Whistle before that free throw, and it will be a lane violation against CBU. I believe they called that against Griman. And so it takes that made free throw off the board, and it will be Hilltopper basketball as Goodrick will sub in for Griman. Closing the note on Barnes, he is really involved in this Riverside community, of course. Like we said, born and raised here, and then went to Arizona State for his collegiate baseball, but he's now been with the Dodgers. He's got to be one of the longest tenured Dodgers on that roster. McHenry's floater was partially deflected, I think, and Woodrogo ended up with it.
You know you're a good catcher when Kershaw Clayton Kershaw, Hall of Famer, wants you to catch him.
Insists on having Austin Barnes, no doubt. Here's Daniels Jr. out to Woodrogo. The big fella backing down inside, and he's called for the travel. 8th turnover on CBU. They had started off sloppy in terms of turnovers, cleaned it up as the half's gone on.
Hilltoppers shooting over 50%, not only from the floor, but also from behind the arc.
WKU averages 80 points per game. They're well on their way to eclipsing that mark as the mid-range J was no good from Newman. Lancers, though, not far behind. They average just over 70 points per game. Offense needs to find a groove. Washington will try to do just that. Cannot connect, but will get his own rebound off the long Karam. Woodrogo down low, no good. And the rebound to Kalambe. A 3 for the trailer. No good this time, and Tyler Riley will pull down the board. Some sizzle to the game for Tyler Riley, the freshman, as a whistle called away from the ball, and it will go against Jun, who just checked in. Falou Jun, the junior out of Senegal. And again, more free throws for Woodrogo. This will be his 4th free throw of the night, although technically just his 3rd on the stat sheet because the last one was wiped out due to the lane violation. The GCU transfer who started his career at Nebraska. And he's able to connect on that first free throw. A solid year so far for Woodrogo, and I know we've already mentioned it tonight, Stephen, but over 10 points per game for the big fella. He scored over 10, 4 games already this year. For reference, 2 full years at Grand Canyon, he scored over 10 points just 5 times. So it really goes to show just how big he has been offensively. The improvement he's made this year has been really fun to watch.
It hasn't just been scoring the basketball either. It's been passing and also dribbling and handling the ball.
Yeah, we've seen some lobs from Woodrogo. A couple of assists to his point guard. Another nice move inside. And it was Kalambe who was able to convert in the painted area. Just over 2 minutes to go first half. Leads back up to 17. Woodrogo spins baseline, gets right underneath the basket. He's denied by guess who? Dante Allen. A break for the Toppers. Rolling inside. The floater was not there. Offensive rebound for Newman. He's swatted away by Washington, but right into the hands of Kalambe. 15 to shoot. Kalambe spins around. Fadeaway is no good, and finally Goodrick able to rebound and clear.
WKU does not need a shot clock. Oh my goodness.
Washington spins around in the mid-range. We'll kick back out to Daniels, and now an entry pass to Goodrick. Washington, pretty move inside. Mid-range floater was no good. And you bring that up, Stephen, their average possession just 14 seconds. Allen's 3, no good this time.
Lancers get the one and done. Get the defensive board, now can go to work. They can't keep on trading punches with this team. Their deficit is too great.
Both sides cooling down offensively. In fact, Western Kentucky and CBU both won for their last 7 from the floor. Woodrogo using the left hand in the painted area, and he got it to go. Ivan Woodrogo now up to 7 first half points. A quick timeout taken by Western Kentucky, and we'll stay with you here with just over a minute to go. But Woodrogo using the left hand in the painted area on a pretty move right in front.
I mean, he gets positioned this deep, and he can use either hand, little 4-footer at that point. And he's effective with either hand from that close range as well. I'd like to see the big fella getting involved in this offense and hopefully helping the Lancers to climb back into this one. Quite the deficit, but plenty of time still.
Yeah.
You just can't hit that home run. You got to chip away.
We mentioned that Utah Tech game earlier on, Stephen, and the Lancers trailed that one at the half by 15, the exact deficit they've got right now. So it's not complete uncharted waters for CBU. And as you mentioned, still a long way to go in this ball game. Lancers have been able to kind of settle down defensively in the last few minutes. We mentioned Western Kentucky just won for their last 7 from the floor. CBU's just got to try to find that rhythm and maintain it now for a second half.
Another thing about the Lancers, only 3 players have scored.
Yeah, 13 for Daniels, 7 for Goodrick, 7 for Woodrogo. Griman able to use that wingspan and kind of get in the way of McHenry. Stevenson will hand back. Daniels Jr. and now Riley. And a foul on the entry pass to Goodrick. And that'll go against Calabay. That's his second. And it will be double bonus free throws now for Goodrick. And we talk about it all the time. What better way to chip away at a lead than scoring? The clock is not moving and nobody guarding you.
It's the way to do it, especially at this point. The deficit is pretty significant.
But we mentioned, get it down to single digits, and maybe that's a bit much to ask for with just 45.9 to go. But, you know, they trailed this game by 20. They've now got it back down to 14 and a chance to make it 13.
I think now you kind of look towards the last 10 minutes of the second half, get it down to 10 by the last 10.
Tegan Moore, you just saw him check in for Western Kentucky, the freshman out of Dry Ridge, Kentucky.
Boy, they got a lot of players.
A lot of good ones.
Yes.
Second free throw is no good. So a 15-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Hilltoppers could have gone 2 for 1. They still can if they pop one quickly. Looks like they'll be content. A 3 from the top of the key is no good. And the rebound for Riley. Shot clock turned off, and CBU is going to settle things down and hold it with 20 seconds to go. In a first half that was dominated by the visitors, but the Lancers, if they can convert on a bucket here, will feel much better about themselves going into half number 2. Daniels Jr. matched up with a freshman and Moore. Shake and bake, drive it inside. Floater with the right hand, no good off the iron. And the first half expires with the score 42-28. Balanced scoring and a bench presence for Western Kentucky. 13 first half points for Dante Allen. The threes were falling, the poster dunk was there, and Western Kentucky on the road in Southern California, taking care of business after 20 minutes on ESPN Plus. Take a look now at our halftime highlights presented by Pepsi, and for Western Kentucky, a whole bunch of highlights so far. They lead this game by 14 at the half, and for the Hilltoppers, team who's led by as many as 20, a lot went right for them in the opening 20s, Stephen.
Yeah, they had a lot of action around the rim, a lot of exciting baskets around the rim, and they've also not pitchered, but they've also played fantastic defense as well.
Lancers, as we mentioned in our last segment, just 3 people have scored the basketball for them. 1 person has scored highlight reel points. That, number 11, Dante Allen. That poster jam was big time. He's also connected on 3 first half 3-pointers. We take a look at our first half stats as well. CBU, as we said, just 1 of 11 from 3-point range so far. That's an obvious need of improvement for the second half. But overall, Western Kentucky into the first half not shooting to the level that they showed early on in this game, but overall, Steve Lutz and company have to be happy with what they saw in the opening half.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as far as shooting, you're going to get some high percentage shots if you can be around the basket. They were able to do that with 20 of those points in the paint, but also not shooting too bad from the field and beyond the arc.
Yeah, 44% overall for Western Kentucky, 42% from 3. We take a look now at our second half changes for CBU in order to try to mount a comeback in this game. What do they need to do?
Yeah, don't turn the ball over and obviously protect the rim. They weren't able to do those 2 things very successfully in the first half. Easier said than done, but I think it needs to start with stopping the basketball, dribble penetration, try to keep them out of the lane as much as possible.
It's been a wire-to-wire lead so far for Western Kentucky. We've been tied 4 times, and all of those came early in this game. But if you date back to Western Kentucky's last game, they also never trailed against Austin Peay.
Yeah.
So they haven't trailed a game since December 12th at Wright State. It's been a long time. They try to hold on to that streak for one more half. Up by 14, they start out with a basketball. Here tonight in Southern California. Late night if you're tuning in Kentucky. As they go to the post at a whistle. Very similar to the start they had offensively tonight, where they were really feeding the big fella Fay. And the foul there went on Goodrick, the first on CBU in the second half.
Yeah, talking to head coach Steve Lutz, he said he wanted to get his big fellas involved in the offense a little bit more, and I think he's done that here, at least early in the first two halves.
Newman will pop a three. No good off the front side of the iron, and Goodrick there to clear. 8 points and 6 rebounds now for Hunter Goodrick. A very solid ball game he's working on.
As always.
Stevenson, and he got the handoff from Goodrick, but an offensive foul called on Goodrick. So 2 early fouls, just 29 seconds into the second half. And a hard contact play there with Brandon Newman, who went flying.
Yeah, I mean, Goodrick did shuffle that right foot a little bit there. Leaned down, kind of let the player run into his backside, but not a lot of movement there from Goodrick.
Luckily for CBU, Goodrick did not have a foul in that first half, so now working with 2. Marshall will find Fay. And back to Jackson. Newman was reached in on. Stevenson was going to beat off that first step and had to try to rally, reached in. So that'll be on Stevenson. That's his first foul, and already 3 team fouls on CBU, and we haven't even played a minute of this second half. Fouls overall in this game, 12-10. Western Kentucky with a couple more than CBU. As it's McHenry giving way to Jackson. Marshall with some space. He'll hoist the triple and connect. Tyrone Marshall Jr., just a 22% three-point shooter on the season. Able to hit on that one, and the lead back to 17. Another whistle and a foul out of Western Kentucky. And that went on Jackson. That's his third, first on the Hilltoppers.
Boy, Marshall in the last offensive possession, way too much space for the shooter there. You gotta try to fight through that screen or under that screen and try to get a hand in the shooter's face.
Goodrick rolls inside to the block. Working that pivot foot, got it back after a deflection, missed the layup attempt, and it's deflected off of the Hilltoppers. It'll stay with CBU with 20 to shoot. You say that about Marshall, but as we said, just 22% from downtown. It might not even been on the scouting report to play him up.
Very good point. I mean, this team, the Hilltoppers, they haven't shot particularly well from 3 yet, but I think they're definitely capable of it.
Stevenson able to work it inside the painted area. It's what he does. How about this for Brantley Stevenson? In first halves of games this year, just 22 points through the first 10 games. 83 points in the second half.
Wow. He comes to play, and when it's showtime, that's when he puts that ball in the bucket. It's not like he's not being productive in the first half. He's not doing the right things. He's just not scoring.
Crafty move to the basket. Another bucket for Marshall Jr. He's able to sidestep a couple of defenders, and both these sides trading buckets here in the opening couple of minutes of the second half. Stevenson was that 4th Lancer to score points, and he's now got 5 in a row. Brantley Stevenson, the hometown product out of nearby Rancho Cucamonga, with 5 in a row.
Yeah, crucial that obviously more Lancers get involved in the scoring, but Stevenson is one of those guys you want hot.
Newman's spinning attempt inside the painted area would not fall, and Stevenson now running point up the floor. Hands back to Daniels Jr., who leads the Lancers with 13. CBU trailing this game, trying to come back. Goodrick's 3-point attempt is no good off iron, and the rebound to Newman. McHenry jump stops through, kick out to the corner for Marshall. Good ball movement here for the Hilltoppers. Motion offense. Marshall skywalking through the lane and was fouled as he was looking to dump it off that time. The foul will go against Woodrogo. That's his second and the team's 4th of this second half.
Marshall just floating through the lane there. Looked like he was going to cup that one and go for the one-handed dunk, but then saw the big fella and kind of thought better of that.
Marshall Jr., 89% from the line. He's been excellent from the charity stripe this season. Knocks down the first one. His second year at Western Kentucky. Spent some time at Colby Community College. Started the last 6 games now for this Hilltopper squad. It's been a very balanced effort offensively for WKU tonight. 13 from Allen leading the way off the bench, but Marshall now with 8, Fay with 9, and McHenry also with 8 points. But a team effort, and that's what it takes on the road across 2 time zones for Western Kentucky right before the holiday break. So many things working against really both these teams, but especially WKU being on the road and trying to extend their winning streak to 6 here tonight. Boudrogo backing down, physical move, bully ball in the paint for Ivan Boudrogo, who's got 9.
Good move there in the post. Boudrogo is a much bigger post presence there, so he can kind of impose his will if he feels like it.
Allen pumping in the mid-range, giving off, driving inside is Newman. Tough 2 is no good. Lancers looking to run and gun. They trail by 14. Stevenson, Chiqueño's open 3. No good off the iron. CBU now 2 of 14 from downtown. And a foul off the offensive rebound from Coleman, and it will go against McHenry, who's whistled for his first.
Good rebound, good position there from Kendall Coleman. Take another look at it here and then try to trap him in the corner. Picks up the foul.
$20 to shoot for CBU. Finds Stevenson, who's got the hot hand, rolls inside. Can't stay hot this time, and the rebound to Fay. Lancers have been able to get it down to a dozen after they trailed by as many as 20, but yet to get it down to within single digits. It's an offensive foul is called on Western Kentucky. And it's called on Fay. That's his 3rd, and he'll have to come out of the ballgame.
Yeah, but another good player will come in and replace him. Rodney Howard, the 6'10 forward, will come in, and Howard's not got any points in this game yet, but I expect that to change.
And he's a very physical, experienced player. Spent 3 years at Georgia Tech, a year at Georgia as well. As Daniels Jr. scores yet again, he's got 15. So they've got the deficit down to 12 again, and still so much time to go in this game. McHenry lobs off to Howard. Can't get it to go. Rebound Coleman. Chiqueño galloping into the front court. Still looking to score for the first time here tonight is Blondo Chiqueño, a young man that averages over 11 per game. Gets a screen to his left, rolls inside, bounce pass, and a beautiful find of Coleman, but it's what we call a wedgie and a jump ball call. And the possession arrow favoring Western Kentucky. That'll take us to a timeout. Oh, it was a beautiful find from Blondo Chiqueño. With a transfer from LSU, Kendall Coleman just couldn't quite finish it. We're to a timeout. 15:24 to go second half. Hilltoppers on top by a dozen. One of the most painful things to happen in basketball. We call it a wedgie.
Ouch. Yeah. I mean, Chiqueño with the perfect dime there. The defense was there.
Yeah.
Coleman had to kind of change his angle, and that was an unfortunate replay to have to talk over.
Correction from what we said going into the break. Possession arrow actually favoring CBU, so the Lancers do keep possession. Chiqueño gets a screen to his left.
We haven't seen Chiqueño drive in the lane in this one. I'm waiting for him to do that like Daniels tried there.
He was reached in on and fouled. 4th team foul out of Western Kentucky, and it goes against McHenry. That's his 2nd. Yeah, you mentioned the driving ability for Blondo Chiqueño. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
No doubt his strongest area of his game, but it's why he's really thrived offensively so far this year for this CBU team. The transfer from New Hampshire in his 2nd year at CBU.
Yeah, it seems like Western Kentucky really taking it to the guards and making sure that they can stop the ball, stop that dribble penetration, and then kind of close down the Lancers offense in a way.
16 points now for Dominique Daniels Jr. to lead all scorers here tonight. He's 5 of 10 from the floor. He's now got 17 as he goes 2 of 2 from the stripe, and just like that, the deficit 10.
Chipping away.
So 15 minutes to play. Could things get weird late night? That's the question. Howard down low, spinning around, and a pretty move in the post for Rodney Howard.
There we go. Howard on the board. First bucket of the game.
He's a guy that can fill it up. He's been in double figures 7 times already this season. Daniels from 17 feet away. A whistle before the shot, and an offensive foul is called on Daniels Jr. Created separation with the forearm, and you don't see that call a whole lot, but he's dinged for the foul that time. And it will go back to Western Kentucky.
Wasn't a lot of contact there, but the official is closer than I am.
Hilltopper lead is 12, and McHenry running point. Down low, Howard matched up with Wade. They're feeding the low post, and it's paying off. Rodney Howard with back-to-back buckets.
Howard getting himself into the offense here in the second half, and that's good news for the Hilltoppers. Not so good news for CBU.
Foul there on the reach. And it will be called on Howard. That's now 3 on the senior. And already, fouls becoming a storyline. We've still got an eternity to go in this game, but as you see on your screens, both teams just 2 fouls each away from the bonus situation. Chiquena will inbound this. Find Daniels circling around. Backdoor cut, Stevenson inside. Tough layup is no good. And McHenry got the rebound.
Oh, the defense around the rim changed that shot. Saved a bucket.
Allen finding that zone again. Another triple for Dante Allen.
Boy, speaking of the zone, he is in it, unconscious. He had a hand in his face. Didn't matter.
Talk about a response for Western Kentucky. The Lancers had gotten it down to 10, and just like that, a 7-0 run in the last minute. As it back up to 17. Chiquena, there he is getting inside and laying it up and in for 2.
Yeah, Chiquena, that's when he is at his best, as you alluded to earlier. First bucket of the game for Blondo here.
Howard hands back to Marshall. The senior from Nashville enters down low, back to Rodney Howard. A couple of zeros go to work, and a pretty move and a spin for Rodney Howard, who's heated up with 6 points in the second half.
Yeah, when he's got that kind of deep position, he's an automatic bucket most of the time.
Deep 3. Daniels Jr. able to rattle it home. There's 20 for Dominique Daniels Jr. as he continues to absolutely blaze offensively. 44 points for CBU, but they still trail by 14. 13:03 to go second half. The Hilltoppers leading it in Southern California. Hilltoppers by 14. It's time for our favorite part of the broadcast, trivia time. Steven, here we go. How many reindeers pull Santa's sleigh? 9, 7, or 11? It's topical in our final game before Christmas. You can't see him, but he's got both hands on his forehead.
Gosh, this is so hard.
Well, think about the song. Think about, Rudolph. We'll give you a minute. We'll give you the answer the next time out. So you don't have to analyze for a moment. You can start singing that song in your head, please.
Oh, not on the mic?
No,
okay.
I would prefer not.
Okay.
Full court press for the Lancers out of the timeout. Western Kentucky on top by 14. They've led this thing wire to wire so far. 48% from the floor, and what a big sequence it was just a couple of minutes ago as CBU had chipped away, got it down to 10, and the Hilltoppers responded with a 7-0 run. Dominique Daniels Jr. off to Washington. Scotty Washington back into the game. Can he get going off the bench? Goodrick on a baseline drive. Washington left alone. Missed it. Offensive board for Woodrogo. He's able to put it back up and in for 2. He's so strong in the low block. 11 points for Woodrogo. And Western Kentucky maybe a bit too quick for their own good on that occasion. They turn it over.
Yeah, definitely a time where you want to secure that basketball. A time in the game where CBU trying to chip away the big fella on the glass and putting that one home.
20 for Dominique Daniels Jr. Step back 3. No good this time. And the rebound collected by Allen.
Daniels trying to put the team on his shoulders there. Just off the mark, though.
Baseline drive. Calabay spins around. He's fouled. And it will take us to a timeout on the floor. The Hilltopper attack relentless. They're so quick with the basketball. They've had a lot of success tonight. Their lead is 12. 12 minutes to play in Riverside. All All right, time to see where Stephen lies. Our trivia question answer reveal. How many reindeer pull Santa's sleigh?
I think it's 9. Oh, yeah.
It's 9. Congratulations. Can you name them?
Donner and Blitzen and Comet and Cupid and
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and our pal Rudolph.
I have nightmares about these trivia questions. That one was tough.
You're 2 for your last 2.
Oh, I know, but still, they're tough. They're tough.
Are.
I'm glad the answer wasn't C this time.
I like to make it hard on you, and that was good though. I'm sure some of our viewers at home were able to shout out that answer as well.
Can they contact me? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
No, probably not.
It's okay.
I don't want that actually.
Yeah, this isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
No,
You can't
phone a friend.
Help.
Okay.
Yeah. Second free throw is no good. Goodrick pulls down the rebound. Western Kentucky's lead is 13 with just under 12 minutes to go. I know we keep saying it, but so much time to go in this game. Can the Lancers go on a significant run here? Stevenson using a pivot foot. What a move for 2. Brantley Stevenson hit the E-break and faded away for 2.
Yeah, put his defender in the popcorn machine, as they used to say. He was up in the air, and then Stevenson still had to bury the shot, and he was able to do that.
Another long striding lunge inside. And fouling Dante Allen that time was Scotty Washington. He'll go back to the free throw line. And boy, how good has Dante Allen been here tonight. 16 points, 6 of 10 from the floor, 4 rebounds. That highlight reel dunk has made his presence felt all over the floor as he knocks down the first free throw.
Yeah, really all-around basketball game for Dante Allen here.
Another one of those high recruited guys we mentioned, started his career at Kentucky, was Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky back in 2019.
Yeah.
As 1 of 2 from the stripe, 1 point shy of his season high. And the lead is 12. A 3 here, get it down into single digits. Things could start to get interesting. Here's Daniels Jr. Kick out to Washington, baseline drive and a kick out again. Dom's 3 is up. It's good. And just like that, it's a 9-point ball game. 23 for the point guard.
It's like you took your crystal ball out and saw that 3 going in, and Dom Daniels was on the same page.
Lancers shooting 53% from the floor in this second half, and now a traveling violation against Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Howard drug his pivot foot, shoveled the feet there, and another turnover.
The energy starting to pick up in this building. And it would rise even more with a Lancer bucket here. Woodrogo lobbing. Daniels Jr. flushing. Back-to-back games with highlight reel flushes. This time a one-hander. And the center to the point guard connection is deadly yet again.
Seen that a few times this year. Oh my goodness. He is the shortest man on the basketball court, and he threw it down with thunder.
Violence on the rim for Dominique Daniels Jr. And the sensational point guard has 25 and one-upped his highlight reel dunk from Saturday.
Which was not easy to do. That was a two-handed, and this one was a one-hander, so a little bit more impressive.
And this place is alive as the first free throw is good by Jalen Jackson. Let's have another look at this. Woodrogo, the center, with a perfect lob. And right over the top of Jalen Jackson goes Dominique Daniels Jr. That's 5'10", 180, soaring up into the air and then mean mugging on his way back up the floor.
Now that play starts with Dom Daniels and YO kind of at the top of the key. Daniels gives off and just sprints to the rim, and YO delivers the dime.
So 2 big free throws there to push it back to 9. Here's Washington dancing at the top of the key. Lancers feeling themselves offensively. Daniels Jr. being the lead catalyst of that. Stevenson rolling inside in front of the basket. Turning around, left-handed push shot rattles home. Brantley Stevenson with 9 second-half points. And the Lancers are as close as they've been in a long, long time. It's a 7-point game. They get a stop on defense. Here they come. Daniels Jr. Now Washington. Long 2 for Scotty Washington is no good. Rebound was Nearly collected by Goodrick, but ultimately fell into the waiting hands of McHenry. Great move to the basket for Don McHenry off the crossover and a floater with the left hand.
So quick, so explosive. And McHenry now with double figures in points. He's got 10.
Offense has picked up so far in this second half. Both teams shooting well over 50% from the floor. Woodrogo. That same play setup. This time the defense was better. Daniels unable to get the lob. This time rolls inside and is fouled. Sixth team foul on Western Kentucky. Was a foul on the floor, and it goes against Fay, and that's his fourth. I know we're going to give Dominique Daniels Jr. a lot of credit for that dunk, and obviously he deserves it. But that lob from Woodrogo, you could not have placed it any better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you couldn't have, like you said, placed it.
If you had it on a pole, you couldn't have put it in a better position. Offensive foul against CBU, and the Lancer bench cannot believe it. And it goes against Stevenson. That's his second.
Coach Croy's losing his mind a little bit over there.
It goes back to the Hilltoppers.
Under 10. Under 10. So they're right where they want to be. They just got to get some stops.
Open three, Allen. They get the stop. Got a hold your breath moment as good as he's been tonight. Allen already with 4 triples and had an open look there. Daniels Jr. no look find at Chiqueno. Baseline drive in front. Scoop shot layup is no good, but a late whistle and a foul.
It looked like Dante Allen got him pretty hard, but yeah, like you said, a late whistle there. Chiqueno was on the ground with his palms up like, what's going on? And then the whistle sounded.
So both sides now in the bonus for the final 8:56 of this game, and it will send Blondo Chiqueno to the free throw line. Just 2 points tonight for the Canadian out of Montreal. And he gets the first one to go. Riley returns for CBU, and what I would guess a brief break for Dominique Daniels Jr. nearing the under 8 media timeout. Give him a little extra rest for the closing stretch. 2 of 2 goes Chiqueno, and it's a 7-point ball game yet again.
Time to clamp down on the defense once again here for CBU.
They lob it into Howard, who had a stretch of greatness. Turnaround 2, in and out, no good. Rebound tipped up, Howard got it back. And a fresh 20 for the Hilltoppers. Took kind of a wild carom off the rim. Kind of held up into the air, and Woodrogo was unable to pull it down, but he gets a block on the other end, and it belongs to CBU. Nice recovery for Ivan Woodrogo after kind of a funky play off the rim. Gave Western Kentucky second life, but the big fella out of France made up for it and more.
Yeah, great help defense there. Jackson trying to get in the lane, and the big fella said, nuh-uh.
8:29 to play, and now, Steven, we're starting to get the ball game we expected to see. Up and down tempo, high pace, and a couple of pretty evenly matched teams. In fact, according to KenPom, these two teams right next to each other.
Yeah.
Euro step inside. Stevenson denied by Marshall. Good defense for both sides. Hesitation move, McHenry. A whistle and a foul, and it will be a blocking foul on CBU. It goes against Blondo Chiqueno. That's his third. And double bonus free throws to come for McHenry now.
Yeah, one of those bang plays. Could have gone either way. Could have been offensive. It looked like McHenry kind of helped out, get the spacing with his left shoulder, but
so McHenry back to the free throw line. He's up into double figures, 10 points, but the Lancers have limited him just 3 of 11 from the floor tonight. So overall, a good job on the, as you would say, uber talented guard. First free throw is good, and Newman returns.
You do listen to me.
Sometimes.
I'm sorry.
McHenry, the transfer from Indian Hills Community College. And as we said, both him and Daniels Jr. for CBU, proof that They're really good players at the JUCO level that can shine bright anywhere in Division I. Kefla made free throws, pushes it back to 9. Lancers trying to stay hot offensively. Tylan Riley's three was in and out, and the rebound pulled down nicely by Howard. Crossover dribble. McHenry's layup is no good. Rebound volleyed into the hands of Stevenson. Lancers looking to push it. Brantley Stevenson nearly lost it, able to corral back to Goodrick. And he throws it away. Miscommunication there for California Baptist. They turn it over for the 14th time tonight, and it will take us to a timeout on the floor. We've got a ball game in Riverside. Western Kentucky's led all night long. That lead has been 20, now just 9. 7:37 to play. 7:37 to play, second half. We take a look now at the WAC standings. Maybe the only conference in the country, I think the only conference in the country that actually has conference games in the books. Everyone in the WAC played 2 games the first week of December. Lancers at 1-1. How about the season GCU's had so far? 9-1. They're only lost to South Carolina. They have wins against San Diego State, at Liberty.
Yeah.
They look like the real deal. They also beat San Francisco. And according to Ken Palm, give them another shout out, they're favored in every single game from here on out. Wow. Don't expect them to win them all, of course. This is a competitive conference, but still says a lot about the team they have in Phoenix this year. Out of the timeout, Western Kentucky on top, 66-57. By the way, Western Kentucky will take on their other WAC opponent, Abilene Christian. That's their next game on the 30th of December. Mid-range 2, and it's nothing but nylon for Don McHenry. So pretty from the mid-range for the lefty.
Yeah, he's got such a smooth, quick stroke. The shot is pure.
Lancers were able to cut this thing all the way down to 7. Hilltopper's able to maintain and keep arm's length distance so far as the clock rolls under 7 minutes to go. A bump and a foul on the drive, and that's going to send Daniels Jr. to the line 1-1. Goes on Jalen Jackson. That's his 4th. That's a big call because, as we mentioned earlier, Stephen, Jackson kind of that shutdown defender on the perimeter for this Western Kentucky team. An unselfish player, without a doubt, and he'll have to sit down.
I mean, as far as their last contest against Austin Peay, I would state that he was the difference defensively in that last 5 minutes, so that's important foul there.
Front end of the 1-1 is good for Daniels Jr., an 83% free throw shooter on the year. He's now got 26 points, a season-high 30 against Utah Tech. Nearing that total. So 27 now for Daniels Jr.
Still just 5 Lancer players in the scoring column.
An odd game in that respect.
Right, yeah.
They only had 3 at the half, if you remember. Newman gets by a defender. A floater from the baseline is good. That's a tough shot for Brandon Newman, kind of going off balance, but was able to get the friendly roll.
Yeah, CBU, just to put this into context, they have 0 points off their bench. That's usually probably 20, 25 points for them.
Lead back to double digits for Western Kentucky. Chiqueño's 3 is no good. And the rebound off the miss falls to Colombe.
Oh, wow.
End to end. Good move for McHenry, but did not get rewarded. Woodrogo able to clear, and here comes CBU back on the other end. Under 6 minutes to play now. Daniels Jr. putting the team on his back. Didn't get the floater to go this time, and McHenry up and running. This is where fitness comes into play for both sides. Chiqueño with a great defensive play. 2-on-1. Blondo a handoff to Daniels Jr. Mid-range J. No good. And an empty trip again for CBU.
Chiqueño reading the defense there, but that pass a little bit late in transition to Dom Daniels, so Daniels had to kind of pull it out of the area there.
Lancers now 0 of their last 6 from the floor. Newman's able to hit a 3 right in front of his own bench. And a big-time silencer shot for the senior Brandon Newman. He has been in big-time moments in his career. The Purdue Boilermaker of one time, who played under Coach Lutz when he was an assistant for Purdue. Daniels Jr. has it in the corner. Up top to Stevenson. Good contest on that three, and a solid effort from Marshall Jr. made that a tough shot.
Yeah, the defense for Western Kentucky has been fantastic. They're shooting almost 50% from three land. Coming in, they're at about 29% for the season.
Open lane to the basket was cut off. Swing pass over to Marshall. Rolling baseline. Little push shot for Howard is no good. Rebound to Woodrogo. 11.6 rebounds tonight for the Lancers center. Clock not on the side of CBU. Down by 14. The three for Goodrick. Left it short. Lancers now just 4 of 21 from three.
Ouch. That is not going to get it done, especially a team that relies so heavily so far this season on the three ball.
On the block. Working is Howard. Lob off to Marshall. Drive inside. A lot of contact, but no whistle, and we play on. I think everyone was kind of waiting for a whistle that time. Here's Stevenson. Chiqueño's corner pocket three. No good. And they're just not dropping tonight for CBU.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, the defense has been there. Even on the open shots, though, they're not falling.
3-on-2 break. Daniels Jr. rolls inside. Acrobatic layup is good. What can't this guy do? 29 for Dominique Daniels Jr.
Great move into the post. Thought about the three, but then said, hey, what? Let's drive this one in.
He is special, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Newman inside. Again, no whistle. The Lancers get another stop. Both sides are gassed.
Yes.
We've gone almost a minute over the media timeout window. And you can tell both teams exhausted. Chiqueño inside. His layup is good. And a timeout for Rick Croy and CBU with 3:06 to play. A deep breath. Try to catch your breath a bit. Blondo Chiqueño, his bread and butter, drive it inside just like that. Lancers got to try to rally, down by 10 with 3:06 to play. Our drive of the game tonight. Oh, little trickeration from Hunter Goodrick. Craft points, 10 rebounds tonight for the Australian. Crafty, perfect way to describe that move from Goodrick. Well, you thought you had it. Not so fast.
Almost a double-double for our man. He's got 8 points. He's got 10 boards. It's 27 minutes of work here tonight. Not a lot of offense, though, spread around the lineup of CBU. Just the 5 players who have scored, all the starters.
Closing the book on Goodrick. That's 5 games now already where he's eclipsed 10-plus rebounds. Heck of a season so far for him. A whistle away from the ball, and it will be a foul against Malik Wade, and he hasn't played in quite a while. He had 3 first-half fouls. That'll be his 4th, and a costly one because that's double bonus free throws now for Western Kentucky, and it will send Babacar Faye, the 61% free throw shooter, back to the line. 9 points tonight for Faye, 5 rebounds. Solid game for the junior. That almost went Kawhi Leonard circa Toronto Raptors against the 76ers and bounced in, not quite. One more. Crowd goes nuts. 2 missed free throws, second half, 3 hot dogs.
Ugh.
Daniels Jr., a screen to his left, rolls inside, can't get the floater to go. Got his own rebound and then was fouled. As going after that loose ball was Calabe. And he was dinged for the foul. That's his 3rd. And it will be Daniels Jr. heading to the stripe, shooting 1 and 1.
Well, good thing he used to be a running back because he just got laid out right there by a big fella, and then he popped right up like nothing happened.
We asked him before the season, you know, you're not the biggest guy, 5'10", 180 like we said. You're fearless, though, going inside. He said, well, I loved football growing up. I played running back, quarterback, safety. I said, any favorite player? Ray Lewis immediately was the answer.
Yeah, that's a tough dude right there.
30 now for Daniels Jr. He's 9 of 10 from the line tonight. And if he gets this one to go, it would be a new season high for the point guard. And he can't get it to go, and the rebound falls to Newman. 2.5 to play, and a 9-point Western Kentucky lead. They've led this thing wire to wire. It's gotten interesting at points of the second half, but the Hilltoppers able to keep it to a comfortable margin through a few storms. McHenry, bounce pass off. Here's Fay. Back it out on Boudreau, leapt into the air, and that's an easy travel call. 8th turnover of the night on Western Kentucky.
At credit to defense of the big fella Y.O. there. Fay got himself in the air and realized, I've got no shot here.
The 3 ball's got to start dropping for CBU to mount this comeback, you would think. Just 4 of 22 tonight from downtown.
Yeah, guys not named Dominique Daniels Jr. just with 1 so far in this game.
Washington. Goodrick's doubled. At short corner, able to split that double team, but he left it short. Got it back on a steal, and a second effort. That was all out tenacity and grit for Hunter Goodrick, who's now got himself a double-double.
If at first you don't succeed, just try again. He was just waiting there, slap that one out of his hands.
7-point game, nearing a minute and a half to go. It's a 7-0 run for CBU. Western Kentucky hasn't scored in over 3.5. They give it off to Fay. Circles around, kick out to the corner. Jackson. 4 to shoot, he's fouled by Daniels, and it will send Jalen Jackson to the foul stripe. And that's a perfect case scenario for Western Kentucky. They waste 26 seconds off the clock and end up being fouled, and it will be Jackson to the foul line. He has not been good from the charity stripe so far this year. Jalen Jackson so far at just 39%, 7 of 18 from the stripe. And he misses the first. And Marshall back in there.
They called it charity stripe, but you still got to earn it.
Western Kentucky 13 of 19 from the free throw line tonight. 1 more for the guard. He goes 0 of 2. Rebound to Goodrick. Lancers got to work quickly. They trail by 7. Daniels Jr. with 30 tonight. He's got the ball at the top of the key. Will drive inside. Wide open Golden Road. It's a new season high for Dominique Daniels Jr. He's got 32.
So good when he gets into the lane, and there was no stopping Daniels Jr. when he thought about scoring there.
Under a minute to go. Calabai inside, missed the layup. Long rebound to Washington. Lancers on a break. Washington's layup is up and good, and the foul. Defense leading to offense, and the Lancers are as close as they have been since the opening minutes of the ball game.
Great job. You'll see Scotty Washington here with the hesitation. Make sure he gets the contact and make sure he gets the bucket.
It was the 5th, by the way, on Jackson. He's now disqualified for the rest of the ball game.
That's a big loss. He is a great defender.
And it's a timeout on the floor. And we take a look at Dominique Daniels Jr. 32 tonight, a new season high. And he's done it efficiently, 10 of 19 from the floor.
Yeah, he has been everything for the Lancers here today, and without Dominique Daniels Jr., where would this team be right now offensively? They'd be down by like 40 points.
Daniels Jr. has been, no doubt, the head of the snake. That's what Coach Steve Lutz called him in our chat. He's taken 32% of the overall shots for CBU so far this year coming into the game. That's 46th in the country, and certainly you see why tonight.
And keep in mind, Coach Lutz said they wanted to take care of Daniels. They wanted to stop him from scoring. They've concentrated on him. He's got 32 points.
How about this? Scotty Washington, that was his first bucket of the night. So the 6th Lancer to score comes in a huge moment. And now a big free throw, which is missed. And Western Kentucky pulls down the board. Still just a 1-possession game, so CBU does not need to foul. And the shot clock definitely still playing a factor here. Under 40 seconds to play in Riverside. Some late night drama on the West Coast. McHenry Bob's off Marshall. The Lancers in zone, and now a timeout taken by the Hilltoppers as Rick Croy switched up his defense for just the second time tonight. The Lancers went into a zone, and Western Kentucky now pops a timeout, but they've got 3 remaining still, or 2 remaining now.
Yeah, you saw a different defensive look, something you hadn't seen too much here tonight. Got into the offensive set. Coach Lutz didn't exactly like what he saw. Draw something else up here.
You just knew this was going to be a close game. And at times it didn't feel like it, but the Lancers have outscored Western Kentucky by 11 in this second half. Currently on an 11-0 run over the last 3 minutes, and the Hilltopper offense has just kind of fallen apart over this last little stretch. They've turned it over 4 times. The Lancer defense has been swarming. And now suddenly, with Western Kentucky not scoring in the last 4:43, CBU's within a possession.
Yeah, I mean, the wide margin was such an anomaly. When you took a look at these 2 teams, you really thought this was going to come down to the last possession, and now we're there. Well, still 30 seconds, but
we're close.
We're close.
11 seconds to shoot, and number 11, Dante Allen, will inbound. He's been great tonight, leading the Hilltoppers with 17. But McHenry's been the cash cow so far this season. Allen gets it, 4 to shoot, and it was deflected out of bounds. And now in a kind of a weird spot to inbound this right in front of your own bench, Western Kentucky's gonna have to get a shot off relatively quickly with 23.2 seconds to go, and the Hilltoppers will take another timeout.
Yeah, in that possession, McHenry was being guarded by not only Dominique Daniels Jr., but also Blondo Chiqueño. They were not going to let McHenry beat him there.
Dramatic games in this building have already occurred. The Lancers were defeated on a half-court buzzer beater against Portland State. They went down to the wire against Utah Tech 72-69, where the Trailblazers blocked a shot in the closing seconds to win that game. CBU has close game experience already this year on this very floor, but both of those first 2 have not gone their way. Can they rally and really overcome massive odds to steal one at home tonight?
That's the goal, and you're working towards conference play. You want to be able to close out games comfortably and confidently as you head into WAC Vegas or any game in the tournament, because all conference games, they're all big.
Remember, folks, if you're just joining us, this was a 14-point game with 3:35 to go.
Yeah.
An 11-0 run. Western Kentucky has not scored in 4 minutes and 53 seconds. They'll inbound here side out with 4 to shoot, leading by 3. Newman will throw it in. In the quarter, he finds McHenry. As the shot clock expires, he airballed it. The putback was no good, and it was a shot clock violation. So it would have been CBU possession anyways, but now that'll allow Western Kentucky's defense to set up. The Lancers do not have a timeout remaining, so they'll have to go the length of the floor, but obviously plenty of time. Trailing by 3 with 19.6 seconds to go.
Good job by Dom Daniels not to foul. Don't foul the shooter right there, and he didn't.
You don't necessarily need to get a 3 here, but with Daniels Jr., you never know. Fans rising to their feet. Daniels Jr. gets a screen. Rolls inside off to Woodrogo at the foul line, and he's reached in on and fouled with 10.3 seconds to go. The foul on Newman, that's his first. And they'll send Woodrogo to the foul line, and that almost looked intentional.
Yeah.
Which you can't really blame Western Kentucky in that scenario, up by 3. Woodrogo will go to the line where he's just 40% on the season. So far tonight, 1 of 3.
Yeah, anybody else with the ball in their hands, and you didn't necessarily want to foul right then, but YO, yes.
The stoppage because of the 5th foul on Faye. So he's out after 9 points and 5 rebounds, and a solid night for the native of Senegal. 10.3 seconds to go, and the twists and turns of this game have been something to behold. The Lancers trailed by as many as 20 with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Western Kentucky was dominating every facet of this game, but it's been a second half team so far this year for CBU. They've really had their way in second halves of games, and it's continued here tonight. But can they climb the hilltop? No pun intended. With 10.3 seconds to go, and it'll be Woodrogo to shoot very big free throws, double bonus situation.
That pun was intended.
100 free throws per day is what Woodrogo's been doing so far every day this season. Can't get the first one to go. The senior out of Bordeaux, France. So far tonight, 11 points, 6 rebounds, and one more big free throw. Lancers are going to have to foul here regardless. Second one is up and no good, but he gets his own offensive rebound. Out to Chiqueño, rolls inside, Washington's three. No good, in and out. 2 seconds to go, and Western Kentucky will survive in a wild shootout in Riverside. 2 missed free throws. The shooter got his own rebound, and an open look for Washington was not meant to be. And the game ends like this.
Open look for Washington. You wanted to see that one go down for Scotty, but just off the mark, and Western Kentucky does hold on. Wow.
Unbelievable game. The Hilltoppers didn't score a point in the final 5 minutes and 20 seconds, but yet they survive and will head back home with a 6-game winning streak. It'll sit on that over the Christmas holiday. 73-70 the final score. The Lancers were able to get back in this game, but unable to ultimately tie it. They fall to 7-4 overall on the year. Western Kentucky now 10-3. A couple of solid mid-major programs gave us a real Christmas treat here tonight. And Stephen, that was excellent basketball. Very dramatic and not quite the finish we would have expected. Midway through that first half, it didn't look like it would come down to the end.
Yeah, down by 20. It didn't look like this was the game that I had studied for, but then the teams, the numbers, they all kind of came to fruition there. But there's definitely a lot to work on for both of these teams, but CBU specifically, first half. You've got to do a little bit better of scoring and being consistent in the first half so you don't have to come back and, you know, tackle these wide margins in the second half.
Lancers didn't have a timeout as well after that second missed free throw, so they kind of had to go scramble drill a bit and unable to make that shot at the very end. Scotty Washington, it was a contested look. We said open originally, but it was actually an excellent contest for Western Kentucky. So fun one tonight. Both these teams will step aside for the Christmas break. The Lancers will be back on the floor at home a couple of days after Christmas, the 27th of December, against Chicago State, as the Cougars, former WAC squad, will be in town in Riverside to take on California Baptist. So thanks a lot for watching. Alongside Stephen Douglas, I'm Brayton Bell saying so long from Riverside, California, where the final score, Western Kentucky 73, California Baptist 70. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long.